Hi, everyone. I'm here in Studio 360 at F5 App World 2024 in San Jose, California. This is F5's premier application security and delivery conference. Now, I am joined by three of my favorite folks at F5. We've got Hitesh, Arul, Paul. We'll start with introductions, starting with Hitesh.
Yeah, thanks, Boo. My name is Hitesh Patel, and I lead up the BIG-IP Next product team.
Awesome.
I'm Arul. I'm the general manager for BIG-IP.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm Paul Werner, and I lead the global solution engineering team.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So today we're going to be talking about BIG-IP Next, but I think this conversation is actually more about infrastructure modernization, what's the current state, where things are going, how people need to think about and prepare. And maybe we'll start with Arul. You had some thoughts around the current state of IT complexity, if you will.
Yeah, true. IT has become definitely complex, much more than what we thought it would be. There was a popular notion that applications were going to move to a cloud as a singleton. But what has happened is that applications are dramatically distributed across multiple locations. So you would have heard from Francois and Kara, we now call it the ball of fire, with multiple applications across multiple locations powering those digital experiences. So that increases complexity, that increases the exposure to security issues. And most importantly, the data that is needed to be pulled together is even more distributed. Look, our research shows that on an average, an organization runs applications in 4 different environments. That is a complex world to navigate. And for anybody out there in the IT world, how do you bring that along and deliver cohesive digital experiences? That's the problem to go solve.
Yeah. Any thoughts on how people approach this complexity at this point?
Look, firstly, I would say automate. Automate. Right? It is when we see the amount of threats and the attacks that are happening, it is not manually possible to secure all those applications. So automation is a primary part of that. Right? And in addition to that, when it comes to the infrastructure, modernize them. Legacy infrastructure that is rigid, brittle, not fit for modernization is not the right way to go. And that's why when you look at the BIG-IP stack across hardware and software, we are bringing cloud-like benefits, multi-tenancy. How do you scale up? How do you automate? We bring that in. Right? So first is automate. Second is modernize the infrastructure so that infrastructure across all environments bring the resiliency, the flexibility, and the agility that cloud provides.
Fantastic. Okay, Hitesh, I often refer to you as the godfather of automation at F5. Thanks to Super NetOps, thanks to AS3, you are actually responsible for very pivotal changes at F5. And the next pivotal change is BIG-IP Next. A revolutionary change for BIG-IP, where we've had BIG-IP Classic for a very long time, and are moving on to something that's a revolutionary change, and maybe you can talk us through that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, I think the great part about this is it's a revolutionary change, but there's not actually a lot of risk in it because we've already done a lot of this in classic BIG-IP with the automation toolchain, with AS3 and all of the work we did, with Ansible and Terraform and all of these partners, right? So while it's going to look different, and it does look different, and I think it's for all the right reasons, you can count on the fact that we have spent the last couple of years actually proving out the methodologies that we're now baking into the core of the platform. So with classic BIG-IP, automation was kind of a bolt-on. You had to go do something. In fact, you had to install that AS3 RPM into classic BIG-IP. But with BIG-IP Next, first of all, you have all of it ready to go out of the box, right? We've taken all of the principles, the concepts that we talked about, declarative automation, the approach to things, and we've now put that through the entire platform, right? So where in classic BIG-IP, we solve for some very specific layer 4 through 7 deployments and things like that. We've now taken that methodology, and that is what BIG-IP Next is. In fact, AS3 is the interface in many ways in BIG-IP Next. We're going to carry all that forward with us. Now, one thing that I want to say is that doesn't mean you have to automate all the way. There's a huge benefit for us building it this way because we can automate the workflows on your behalf. So things like upgrades are fully automated now. Multi-location deployments are fully automated. We use our automation to deliver that in a GUI experience for you. And then you can take from there and integrate with APIs if you want to go all the way and automate without that GUI or tie it into other systems.
I think what I like about that too, if I can comment on that, is that that selection and the gradient of how much you want to automate allows people to, let's say they have a certain amount of time that they can dedicate towards automation. Is it towards automating the big IP, or is it towards automating into business workflows? Because we take care of that part on the big IP, they can focus on the business workflows. I know this is a little bit out of context, but one of the previous discussions that just happened now was integrating into ServiceNow, integrating into the business workflow at that point, because we took care of everything else.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I think that's where it really starts to matter, is when you can give the people in your environments and your customers that level of service, right?
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so we've been at App World all week. Paul, you are boots on ground, talking to customers, talking to partners, getting feedback. I know that's important for you to be able to shape the future of what the field does as far as the SEs goes. So what have you been hearing?
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the session. And the energy is palpable around Big IP Next from customers. Why do I say that? We've had to expand capacity for the labs. So we had oversold labs for Big IP Next. The other thing, I just randomly would ask people as they were leaving the room, what'd you think? And they're like, wow, I've been doing Big IP since like 2010, 2013. You're addressing a lot of the problems we knew you had, and you couldn't do it with TMOS, right? So they're really excited about what it brings. It'll make a big impact on their operations and make a big impact on their organizations. So that's fun. On the partner side, the partners see it as a real opportunity. There's services opportunity to help with the migrations. And then we have some partners that sell competitive products that are looking for an alternative vendor, and they like what they see. They've said, you guys have remade the company, and we see the future and where you're going, and we like what you're doing.
Awesome. App World came at a very opportune time, I would say, to be able to bring this to our customers and show them what the next stage of Big IP is going to look like. So I think it's fantastic. Thank you, Hitesh. Thank you, Arul. Thank you, Paul, for joining me today. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video. Follow us on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, on f5.com. And otherwise, we will see you on the next one. Bye now.